Welcome to another video, and today we got a good one. Talking about 5 money mistakes that we make that need to be avoided. Right. So I'm gonna start this with the story. My story of how I wasted money. I had so much money, but no, wasted. It goes like this. I took a gap year and I was working. Cool. So as I'm working, obviously I'm getting paid. The girl is married. And I didn't think to myself, oh no girl, like put some money away, think about the future. No, the girl, stay. Every weekend it's takeout. Every month it's shopping. And at that point, I didn't have any financial responsibilities really. I just had to make sure that I have my toiletries and I make sure that my phone has data. But your girl was out there living large. Ja. So, anyways, and I wasted all this money. So, I was in the car with my mom one day coming back from work, and we're listening to this message by my pastor, Pastor Chris Oyakilome, and he talks about how their church started saving money. And I'm listening to this message, and I got provoked. I was like, yo, because at that point it was like end of September. And at this point, I'm like, girl, you've been working from November of the previous year to now, and you don't even have even 100 rand saved. I had to rebuke myself. I had to be like, girl, with your living large lifestyle. So I started putting a bit of money away on a monthly basis. And by the end of the year, I had some money saved. And I was like, okay, it's good to have money. It's nice. So I had to reflect and say, girl, you're making too many blunders here. Like, stop and evaluate. And these are the 5 things that I discovered. So the first one is that I didn't have any financial plans or any financial goals. So the money that I get, I don't think of it in any future sense. It's about right now. It's about what I can do with it right now. Okay. So now I think totally different. At the end of every year, since then, I will sit down and ask myself, okay, how much money do I want to have saved by the end of the year? That's my yearly goal. And then from there, I break it up into monthly steps to figure out how much I need to save on a monthly basis to get to my goal by the end of the year. Cool. So at that point, I didn't have that. If I had it, I probably would have saved myself a lot of financial stress, because the following years I wasn't working and I didn't really have a stream of income, so I had to use that money. I had to be like, no girl, like this is not it. So that's when I started making financial goals, right? So that at least by the end of the year I know that, okay, this much of my money saved goes to this, and break it up into different components, but we'll definitely do that in a different video. Then the second mistake that I was making was that I didn't have a budget. So I was literally on some anything for you, princess, anything for you. That was me to me. So I would splurge on like the silliest of things, right? Like, I used to love Burger King at that point, so I was like eating Burger King almost every weekend. And I didn't have a budget, so I didn't know how much I was spending. I wouldn't even look at my bank statement. I was like, no, I don't want to know. I don't want to know. I don't want to know. So I wasn't even looking at my bank statement. So I didn't know how much money I was spending on different activities, on entertainment, on toiletries, on clothing. I was just using my money, just using it. And I realized later on that, okay, that was a mistake. You're supposed to know, okay, if you're eating out, how much money are you spending on eating out, or how much money are you using on toiletries on a monthly basis, and how much money do you use on data on a monthly basis? Because that time, listen, if my data's finished, just top up, like just top up. There's nothing wrong. You got the money, right? That was my mind. So I had to sit myself down and say, listen, girl, you have to start budgeting. You have to know what you're spending your money on. You have to look at your bank statement. I know it's hard, but you have to look at it. The third mistake that we all should avoid is trying to live easy Twitter or keeping up with the Jones. You see people on social media, you see people taking holidays, you see people buying the latest iPhones, and you feel like pressurized to do the same for yourself. And you're like, man, like my peers are living their best life, and then you start using your money in excess to try and keep up with these people. They don't care. Like, they don't care. Nobody cares. So why are you putting so much pressure on yourself to try and keep up with the standard of what's going on social media? You see people buying cars, jiggy, you wanna get one, even though it's not a priority. Maybe your priority is getting an apartment, or your priority is paying off your student debts, or whatever, paying off a student loan or whatever. But now because you see your peers or other people on social media buying cars, you feel like, yo, I need to buy a car. I need to do it. Like it's a need. And it's not a need. Which brings me to the next point number 4, which is not knowing what your options are. So at that point, because obviously I had so much money, I was using a certain bank which will not be named. I was using this bank and not realizing how expensive their bank charges are until I didn't have a consistent stream of income. Then I was like, no, is that how much I've been spending on bank charges? Perfecto. Nah, no. Like there are other alternatives that are student friendly. There are other banks that can give you, better alternatives. And sometimes we don't know about these options, so we're making these financial mistakes, or you have subscriptions that you haven't cancelled that you don't use. And these things are taking your money and it's finishing you. It's depleting your funds, depleting your resources. And other times we as students don't know that, oh, I can sign up for a student account with, wherever, and, put some ease on your student budget, student finances. Sometimes it can be tricky. So yeah, that's one of the things that we don't take into account. We don't know the different options. We don't know that there are different banks that can assist you as a student, or just somebody who doesn't have such a top shelf salary right now, right? And then the last point, number 5, is seeking instant gratification. And I used to do this a lot in retail therapy, where if I was feeling like sad, or if I was feeling some type of way, I would get myself something nice, right? Like I would get myself something nice to try and compensate for these emotions instead of working through it. If I was not feeling like my best self, I would retail therapy. And or if I wanted something, I would get it. Literally, like if I wanted a pair of shoes, it didn't matter how much they cost. I would just get them. I would just get them. And that lifestyle of just spending money, using money, not really focused spending and not intentional spending, it lasted for a while until I resigned. But now when I resigned, I was not getting an income. So that means I couldn't keep up with this lifestyle. And it hurt. It hurt. Like that hurt. My finances, they were hurting me because I couldn't live that lifestyle that I was used to. So after I had to sit down with myself and say, okay, listen, girl, you have to focus yourself. You have to focus your finances. If you're not focused, I'll focus you. So you have to focus yourself and say, okay, I'm going to have financial goals. I'm going to have a financial plan. I am going to set my budget every month and stick to it. I'm going to run my own race in my own lane at my own pace, period. And you have to know that there are better options. You have to find the better options for yourself. Don't just accept or take what there is. Bargain, negotiate, look for solutions, right? And lastly, you have to find pleasure in delayed gratification. So that's the story in Bellamori. Wouldn't you like to know? So that's what I have to say to you on this fine day. I hope you learned something, and we'll be back for more. I hope you have a great day.